in association with Audible. We're live on the Pleasance TV YouTube channel and live on the Huffington Post as well. And here, live at the Ace Dome in Edinburgh! Thrilling. Thrilling. And the sun is out here in Edinburgh. You can't see because we're obviously locked in some form of vault. But I tell you something, everyone is so excited in Edinburgh to be stuck in a room on the one day of sunshine we have every year. We're going to start off with some comedy right now. He's performing here every night with AAA comedy. It's Danny O'Brien, everyone!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen! We good? Yes, welcome to this windowless room. Outside in Edinburgh, there's just dead gingers all over the city. Everyone throwing yogurt on them, trying to revive them in the sunshine. It's nice to be here. It's nice to be here live at the Pleasance TV. Just before we go any further, I need to do a quick audience survey. Are there any German people here? Excellent, we can continue. There's one German. Okay, you're very welcome, sir. Okay, it's a little bit awkward now that you're here, to be honest with you, because at the moment, Ireland still currently owes Germany about 62 billion euros. That used to be 4 British pounds, now nobody knows. Thanks, Brexit. A quick history lesson. The reason that Ireland owes Germany so much money is because me and everyone else in my little island, we essentially went mental for the last 15 years. And we treated our economy the same way you would treat somebody else's shower gel. When you go to their house, you lose your mind in other people's bathrooms, don't you? You're like, I didn't pay for any of this! Bukkakeing yourself with shampoos. Conditioning your pubes. I do this every day at home. So it's good, so thanks for the loan. Essentially, Germany's paying for our electricity. You'll definitely get that money back, Germany, okay? No one worry about Brexit, by the way. If the UK ends up a little bit poorer, so be it. Poverty is the great equaliser, isn't it? Most of us experience poverty at some stage. Handful of us have. Germany's going, "Was is this poverty of which you speak?" Have you ever been so poor that you're standing in Tesco or Lidl if things are brutal? And you have razor blades in one hand and then you have deodorant in the other. And you have to decide, don't you, which one of those two items you can afford. And then you end up leaving with a bottle of gin. You can always go see your parents when you're a bit broke though, can't you? To go get a free dinner and to steal toilet roll. But it comes at a price. I come from the country in Ireland, a very beautiful place called Glendalough. It's very like the Highlands in Scotland, full of hills and lakes, but ultimately inbred like a sandwich, ladies and gents. There were only 6 other teenagers in my village growing up. That is one awkward house party. My mother lives down there, a very Irish Catholic staunch mother. She's an incredible woman, but she's got an amazing ability to give insults and compliments at the same time. Are you guys familiar with this practice? Yeah, I'll go home, my mother will go, "I've made dinner." And while I'm eating, she'll go, "You're after getting very fat. Inside your face." And I go, "What's wrong with my face?" And she'll leave the room and go, "But it suits you." What does that even mean? I go home for dinner with the Riddler. But my mother works part-time in our local charity shop. Stops her drinking during the day, madam. And one of her favourite things to do is steal things from a charity shop that no one else will buy, then gives me those things to wear in my actual life. This is not a joke. The last thing she got me was a jacket. I was going to the Edinburgh Fringe last year and she goes, "I'm after getting you a beautiful jacket. You can wear this now during all of the skits." What are the skits? I don't go to Edinburgh every year and just have the runs and go, "Thank you very much, good night." This wasn't just any jacket. It was genuinely the smallest jacket I had ever seen. I thought it was my Holy Communion jacket. Now, if anyone doesn't know what the Holy Communion is, it's a music festival for Catholic people. When you're about 7, where you get to dress up like a little snooker player for the day. And then you get loads of guilt money from your alcoholic uncles. It's brilliant. I said to my mum, "That jacket's not going to fit," and she gave me a beautiful mother response. She goes, "You don't even know until..." Exactly, nailed it, Pleasance. You try it on. So I tried it on in front of her to prove a point. Did you ever try on something so small you can't even get your other arm into it? That must be how hipsters dress themselves every morning before putting their avocado on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? I'm stuck in this infant's coat like a T-Rex in the sitting room. I said to my mum, "Look, I told you it's not going to fit." She gets pissed off because the jacket she stole from a charity shop didn't fit and goes, "You have always had long arms." I said, what are you talking about? She goes, even as a child. Like it was this big family secret that she'd been keeping from me my whole life. He'll never be normal, put him in the well. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have an absolutely amazing day lined up, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Danny O'Brien. Have an absolutely brilliant day. Thank you very much.
That was Danny O'Brien. He's on at 11 p.m. at the Pleasance with AAA comedy. Now, I've got two giants of comedy with me now. It's Loyiso Gola and Hal Cruttenden, everybody. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Danny was talking about toilet roll. In my early days at the Fringe, I had so little money, I used to go around the venues stealing toilet roll. I can now afford my own toilet roll.
Well, I'll tell you something about toilet rolls. You people have it good in this place because you have toilet paper,
Yes.
tissue, and serviette.
Yes.
And you pretend it's not the same thing. Like it's exactly the same thing. And you just casually just go on with your life like it's not, no, it's exactly the same thing. Alright? Like, and people act with such prestige and, oh no, you cannot use a serviette to wipe your ass. You can.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely have.
Do you ever test that in terms of, have you used A4?
What?
Just normal A4 paper from the printer if you've run out of...
No, oh my
No.
word, that would be painful.
No, because you know what, I can't remember if I have
you
or
got a
not.
paper
I remember,
cut?
well, but I had none in my house the other day, and I didn't use it, but I thought, I wonder if it would. I'm not being...
I'd rather use a
I'm
sock.
backtracking from suggesting something and going, does it actually work or does it block your loo? Are we just really going
Anyway,
downhill with this
so
conversation?
great.
Sorry, is that...
You will just end up with the sports section in your ass.
Lisa, just this is your first time at the Fringe, isn't it?
No, it's my fourth time.
Fourth time at the Fringe.
Yeah, I've come here as an open mic, and then I came to do two-man show, and then 3 years ago I did like a one-man show.
What I'm always curious about when people come to the Fringe, because it's a marathon, as you know, Hal.
Yes.
You do 26 shows, sometimes extra shows. Some days the weather's a bit dreich, people are a bit
Some
upset. Audiences come in their cagoules and they drip all over the floor.
Whoa, retract. You can't just use words like cagoules and move on swiftly like nothing happened. Cagoules is not a word that we use on a daily basis. So when you use
I
it,
tell you, we do
please
here.
backtrack. You do. Cagoules. What does it mean?
A cagoule or a pack a mac.
You don't know what cagoules aren't in South Africa?
I don't know. I don't even know what a cagoule is.
A
It's a
cagoule,
small creature that lives by...
a cagoule is a lightweight rain-protecting gear that almost everyone in this audience here has at least one and a spare in case their friend forgets one. And then you shake them off and you sit down like this, entertain me, and that's what people do. Do you find sometimes Edinburgh audiences can be more difficult than other parts of the world, or do you think they're pleasant people? Look at them staring at you in a threatening fashion. Are they all right?
I think they're cool. I like the idea of playing any audience. I like the idea of, even if it's an audience that's a bit stubborn and stuff, and I like challenging myself to get the audience on my side. So I use various techniques to get them on my side, but I wouldn't say they worse or more.
See, as I've heard you say before, I think that might be because you're South African and there's a vague sense of guilt in the audience, whereas I'm English, so my guilt is towards the Scottish. So I think there's do you know what I mean? So there's a sort of levels of nobody's going to see an English person and feel, oh God, he's probably had it tough. Whereas that's the feeling we have about South Africa. Oh God, I've done terrible in South Africa.
I don't look at you and think, oh God, your childhood must have been like Angela's ashes.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I feel? I always feel Scottish people look at me like that character in like a movie where I'm the sort of king sitting on a horse at the back of a battle with a handkerchief going, kill them all and their wives and children. You know, that's the sort of the history thing of like the horrible, the English. Well, I know we've done terrible things, but I'm not good at history.
Well,
I'm not
if
sure
you
the
will
details.
insist on riding around Edinburgh on a horse,
With a handkerchief.
that's perhaps the bit where people are thinking you're too lofty for this Fringe.
Exactly.
I mean, I think it's been a really lovely Fringe, very busy, very beautiful. Have you enjoyed your run?
I've enjoyed. I've had. It's weird. Like one day I'll sell out, and then another day I won't, and then then I'll have like 20 people, and then I'll sell out. It's cool. I'm enjoying it. I'm generally enjoying my audiences. Yeah, I like the fact that I've got a wide range of audience as well, as opposed to sometimes where you play somewhere in London and it's just like 20-year-olds. I like them because we relate more.
Yes.
I can do contemporary stand-up, but with the older guys, they just like, I don't know who Drake is. Leave me alone.
And you've not been here for the full run.
No, I've only been I came up about a week ago, but then went back to London to do something on Sunday. Then I'm back again. Yeah, I've come back to do this. So it's been really broken up. So it's been
Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you staying when you're in Edinburgh this year, Hal?
You want the actual address? Buccleuch Terrace.
I
Why?
wasn't being sinister. I was wondering if you were renting a flat.
Oh
or
no,
if you were
I am
staying
still
in
renting a
hotel.
flat. Somebody
Yeah,
sourced it.
yeah. Hal, I'm not going to turn up naked
Yes,
in your
you
house.
are. You want me.
Oh yeah. At last I can finally tell the truth, Hal. All these years I've been pretending to be a lesbian for work. And I'm not even Scottish, ladies and gentlemen. No, I just wondered if you'd rented a flat.
No, I have rented a flat. I've rented a flat because I've also got, this week, I've had my youngest daughter and her friend stay with me, and they go tomorrow, and they go in the morning train, and in the evening train, my older daughter arrives with her friend. Not that my daughters hate each other,
No.
and not that I'm still with my wife, she just doesn't like to come up. So she's just sending them up. Sorry, why am I doing that much excuse? It's fine. Okay?
Yeah, no.
I'm just thinking, oh, his wife's left him and he can't accept it. No, she's just working. But my oldest comes up, so I've always needed a 2-bedroom thing for teenage girls to stay in the other room.
You really
That
don't need
sounds
to
creepy.
explain that much. The question was simply, have you rented a flat in
If you,
Edinburgh, Hal?
I'm feeling weird because if you see me walking around with teenage girls, it's not weird.
Okay, so let's move the conversation on. Just finally, Loyiso, do you think you'll be back at the Fringe?
I think I'm going to do the Fringe every year. I mean, it's just expensive to put a show together at the Fringe, so there's a lot of financial implications. And so sometimes, before, the reason I haven't come the last 3 years, I was doing this satirical show back home, and we would be shooting throughout, and so I just quit the show, so I have the time now to but I will always come back. I'll definitely come back.
Well, one of the ways to keep costs down, as we all now know, is to take serviettes from kebab shops. Loyiso Gola, thanks for joining us. Your show, Dude, Where's My Line, is on every night till the end of the run at 8 p.m. Hal, stick with us. Everyone, a huge round of applause for Loyiso, please.
Thank you.
Give me a huge round of applause. You're watching live at the Pleasance in association with Audible. Let's have a bit more comedy now. One of my favourite comedians. It's Kiri Pritchard McLean, everybody!
Hello, you lovely buggers. Are you well? Yes. Oh, I'm having such a nice time. I'm getting a bit homesick now, and I didn't think that would happen. I've come up from Manchester to do the Fringe, and I'm very settled there. Went to university and then bought my own house. I just turned 25, so people always say to me, how have you managed to buy a house at your age? And I explain to them I've done it the old-fashioned way. I've worked really, really hard, and I I saved up all my free time, and I invested it into one elderly relative. That has paid off now, that has. Still got one as well, that's the extension sorted. So fingers crossed we get another heat wave, eh, guys? It's fine, they're racist. It's a weird thing buying a house. It feels very grown up. Other grown up things I started to think about having kids, which is a weird thing for me. I've never been particularly broody, but last year I had a health scare where I thought I wasn't able to have children, and I realised how important a family was to me. I woke up one morning and I was having chronic abdominal pains. They were getting worse and worse throughout the day. It got to the point I didn't feel like I could stand up anymore. So I phoned NHS Direct and I spoke to this nurse on the phone. She was absolutely brilliant. She taught me all the way through my symptoms, and it turns out that I was hungry. That's brand new information, that was. But I'm excited to have a family. I genuinely think that being a parent is the most important job that you can do. If you fuck it up, we get Tories. That's how the world works. So I'm trying to make the world a nicer place. So I live in quite a poor area of Manchester, so I volunteer in my local community with kids who've not had a great start in life, and I work with them to help build their confidence and help them find work, and I love it. And I love everyone I volunteer with as well. They've got very good hearts, even though what we do can be a bit sad. We get trained to look out for signs of neglect, but we have a bit of gallows humour and we just get through it. The other day we were talking about child protection. That's obviously very serious. And they said, okay, don't add them on Facebook. Don't bring them into your home. Don't bring them into your car. Don't get into a sexual relationship with them. And I said, oh, what? You can't even wank them off? And nobody else laughed. So, I've got to do the course again now. Every year when I finish the Fringe, I go back to my homeland, have a little break, go back to mum and dad. I'm a Welsh person. I'm from the island of Anglesey. It's a very beautiful place. Please do visit if you haven't been. My village is famous because it has a long name. Thanks for your apathy. Yeah, brilliant. I'll tell you what, I'll translate it into English for you. This is harder. It is settlement by the White Pool, by the Whirlpool, that's name was changed in the 1970s. Somewhat English people come there on holiday. Thank you for your caravans, Liverpool. It's I love going back to see my family. I don't like bumping into the people I went to school with. They've all found out that I do comedy. You think they'd be like, brilliant, one of us got away. Not at all. No. I saw this girl, she was in my class, and she came up to me. She said, Summer Tommy, that you do comedy now? You weren't very funny in school. It's nice and supportive, isn't it? And what I wanted to say was, well, you didn't strike me as being particularly maternal, but here they all are. Didn't say that, she used to beat the shit out of me. I just said, oh, I didn't think you were allowed to get babies' ears pierced, and then I ran away. So I learned that one. Where I live, it is peculiar. A lot of people, most people are first language Welsh. Some of them find it hard to even speak English. I'll give you an example. When I was growing up, my first ever boyfriend, when I was 11 years old, he sent me a Valentine's card, and I opened it up, and it said, Kiri, I love you, forever and ever, until the day we die together. That's a bit fucking weird, that, isn't it? Still sending them as well. I love seeing my dad. My dad's adorable. Never lived anywhere else but rural Wales. No idea what's going on in the real world. Genuinely thinks a metrosexual is someone who likes to have sex on trams. So cute. Now, he's very straight talking. I love that about him. And he's very proud of me because I'm a stand-up comedian, because I'm a girl. And typically fewer girls do stand-up comedy. So he says, stand-up comedy is a wonderful, very brave and very courageous thing for a little lady to be doing. It's so cute, right? So when I went home, he wanted to show me off to everyone that he works with, because he works in a garage with loads of big racists. And he marched me in, right? Now you think he'd be like, oh, this is my daughter, the stand-up comedian. What he went with was, here, lads, this is my daughter, the one I've been telling you all about, with a massive set of bollocks. No context whatsoever. Not even told them that I do stand-up comedy. So I'm just sort of stood there like this as they all look me up and down. Then he followed up with this, you'll be seeing her on the TV soon, which is absolutely adorable, isn't it? But they've now all Sky Plus'd embarrassing fucking bodies. I just sneezed and they came down. I can't wear leggings anymore. Quite the mental image, isn't it? But he's great. I'm the youngest of three, and by quite a way. My brothers are 15 and 13 years older than me, and I cottoned on that age gap's not deliberate, is it? So I thought, okay. So I made myself cry, and I went into the living room where I was, and I said, Daddy, you don't plan to have a child 15 years after the first one, and 13 years after the last one. I said, Daddy, was I a mistake? And he said, oh, Kiri, none of you were planned. Just fucking waltzed off. So, that's me, so thank you very much for having me. Cheers.
That is Kiri Pritchard McLean. Her show Hysterical Women is on at 6 p.m. Well worth seeing. She's absolutely fantastic. You're watching live at the Pleasance with me, Susan Calman. Look, Sophie Willan's joined us. Everyone give her a huge round of applause. Hi, Sophie.
Hello.
This is Hal. Do you know
Hello,
each other?
you okay?
You never know sometimes. When you do these shows, you never know whether or not anyone knows each other. Have we met?
I think maybe we're pissed or something because it's vague, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah.
I do look like a lot of people.
Oh, do you? All right.
Who do you look like?
I look like guy called Martin Roberts from Homes Under the Hammer.
Oh, you do? Oh, he
Thank
does,
you.
doesn't he?
I get that, and Mr. Tumble I still get.
I was going I mean, it's...
Oh, gee, let's just keep them going. So actually, somebody said Dom Jolly in the parks the other day. That's
a new
that's
one.
horrible. Isn't it?
That's-
Russell Grant on a really bad day.
Right.
Sorry, I'll shut up now. And I sound like Tony Blair, so I'm so sorry.
Yes. Have you ever been mistaken for someone else famous? Sophie?
Jane McDonald, but only when I spoke, so...
Can I be honest with you, Sophie? I have verging on an obsessional love for Jane McDonald.
Do you? Oh, well, here I am.
Yes. I made my wife go and see her when she was in concert. And you've never seen the almost end of a marriage happen in front of your eyes.
Was she a singer, is she, as well?
She's a singer, Sophie. Oh, she's a singer. She's an entertainer. She's a dancer. She's a comedian. Anyway, back to you, Sophie.
Do you have that thing, though, that you're allowed, if you're in love with somebody like that, that you're actually, if you got the opportunity, you'd be allowed to go off with
I don't fancy Jane McDonald.
Oh.
My one person I am allowed is Andy Murray. That would be such a lovely couple. I am really quite gay, if you hadn't worked it out, but
Yeah.
I love Andy Murray. Like
Is he the tennis player, isn't he?
yeah, the tennis player.
So I don't watch it, I just go up
tennis
and
player.
down.
The future Mr. Calman, is that
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, so
Fabulous.
yeah. Oh, I love him so
And
much.
I met Judy Murray.
Did you? My mother-in-law?
Exactly. But I think she's got something about her. She's very attractive in a sort of.
You two are perverts
No,
on
but
this
that
side, aren't they? I don't know what's going
That
on.
would mean that if I went with you'd be my daughter-in-law. If I. Okay,
This
that's
is
weird
getting
now.
weird.
Sorry, it's going.
So, Sophie,
Sorry.
Yes.
how are
Sorry.
you enjoying?
Sorry.
This is your debut hour, is
Yes.
it not? How
Yeah.
are you enjoying your debut hour at the Pleasance?
Fabulous. Yeah, it's very hot, though, in my room. I'm downstairs. It's a bit like doing Bikram yoga every day. I'm sort of sweating by the end. But
Yeah.
apart from that, it's fabulous. I've had a really good time. Yeah.
Yes.
Been very busy and just lots of nice people, really. I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's nice, isn't
It
it?
is. I think the first one's always the best, and then they
Is it? Does it
they
just get
tail
shit
off in
on?
excitement until you only turn up for a week.
Tell you what the
and a
worst
half.
thing is, Sophie, is if you have a really good first year after that, you are in trouble.
Really?
Because then everyone goes, oh, she's really good, and you come back the next time. I remember going to see Sue Perkins' show, and she called it the disappointing second show, so that she put it in the title of
That's
it.
quite
Yeah.
clever.
Because,
isn't it?
so everyone was just prepared. It was a great show, she's fantastic, but it was called the disappointing second show.
And how did it go? Is it because it's a reverse psychology, isn't it? Did
Yeah,
it work?
yeah, it did work. It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. She was fantastic. But have you found anything, because it's your first hour, and what people sometimes don't know is usually in clubs you do 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
To do the hour can be quite a jump just in terms of stamina. How have you found doing that?
Fine, because I used to do theatre shows, so sort of solo theatre. So actually doing 20-minute set, I found more difficult because I was trying to condense my long-winded self into 20 minutes. So the hour actually suited me better, really.
But don't you find, as it's a comedy show, that with theatre, people aren't going to shout out if they think it's shit? And in are we allowed to swear?
Well, everyone has so
sorry.
far.
But
I think that went out the way
if you're doing
at the
comedy, you've got
beginning.
those different rules that your audience can turn on you. Don't you find, having been or no?
Yeah, no, I do. Well, it's quite theatre-y up here, isn't it? Everyone's quite polite. No one's heckled me yet.
No, I wear a
but
cravat on stage
yeah.
every evening.
What time are you on?
4:45,
Oh, it's
so
fine.
I've got
They're
the
not pissed
cagoule
yet or
lot,
anything.
so...
No, right.
You know.
No, that's fine. That's still
Yes.
so.
So,
Yeah.
before we wrap up, just so people know,
Yes.
what do you think? What would you say your show was about, Hal? If people wanted to come and see it,
The problem is, all my shows I pretend to be about something, and they're just about me
Right.
talking about myself.
Yeah.
Forever. No, but it's sort of me. For me, it's sort of midlife crisis, furious, angry, quite an angry man with a smiley face. It's brilliant.
Right.
It's so much more fascinating than it sounds.
right?
It doesn't need a big concept. It's just pure funny.
We probably don't have enough time, Sophie, to discuss your show, but it's a very personal show.
Yes.
Your show
Yeah.
this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell people in as brief a way as you can, essentially,
Okay.
what it's about.
So when I was 23, 5 years ago, I got my records back from social services because I've been in and out of foster care growing up. So what I decided to do, like a sort of self-absorbed comedian really, I thought I'll write a show about me through the professional opinions that have been written about me. So why take my word, I'm fabulous, you know. So it's about that and about my mum, who, like I said, is a heroin addict. So she's quite an interesting woman, actually. And I think I wanted to break down those barriers of what we assume people are like who are coming from these backgrounds, really. So it's quite dark, but optimistic.
That makes me feel really crap now.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be about me. I'm a funny growing up middle class.
Mine's about my terrible, terrible family life.
Yeah,
Oh.
totally.
Well,
God, yeah.
no, we've all got our crosses to bear, haven't we, Hal?
That's got meat in it.
Yes,
Everything.
my show's about the fact I got the wrong custard delivered by Tesco. Sophie Willan is on at 4:45. Go and see her show today. It's over at the Courtyard. I hope you're having a great time, Sophie.
Yes,
Sorry I
I
can't
am.
see your show. Mine's on almost the same time. Hal's show Straight Outta Cruttenden is on at 10 p.m. until the 28th, and then all over the country until the end of November on tour. Thank you to both of you. Give them both a huge round of applause for me.
Thank you very much.
And we've got time for something special now. To close the show, please welcome freestyle rapper Chris Turner, everyone!
Thank you very much. So yeah, freestyle rap made up on the spot, based entirely on your suggestions from a 26-year-old middle-class white boy without a chin. Let's do this. So think of a word, think of a topic, think of a phrase. Everyone in here. 3 rules. Number 1, no food. Number 2, no animals. They're obvious, they're boring. Number 3, nothing too obvious, right? If it's like Brexit or Trump, people have said that before. I can't ever take a suggestion that I've had before, right? Best suggestion we've ever had, 9th century crop rotation. Aim high. Okay, that was from a child. You're not going to beat it. But right, we'll take 5 suggestions. We'll divide the room into quarters, and then we'll take a wild card. So anyone in this wedge here, what do you want to hear a hip-hop song about? Icebergs, straight up. That's a great suggestion. Cool. Suggestion from here? Weetabix. Actually, I would not describe that as a food, so that's perfectly acceptable, yeah. Icebergs, Weetabix. Word from this segment here?
Your family tartan.
My family tartan. Lovely. Thank you very much. From clearly a very English gentleman. But no, that's genuine too. I do know my family tartan, so that's cool. We have iceberg, Weetabix, my family tartan. Word from anyone along the kind of wall here? Hypochondriacs, my family tartan, icebergs and Weetabix. One final suggestion. Let's make this the best one so far. Surreal artist. Lovely. So, we have surreal artists, iceberg, hypochondriacs, Weetabix and my family tartan. This then, ladies and gentlemen, if we can drop that beat, is a completely improvised, freestyled, off-the-cup rap. None of this is prepared, none of it's written down. And don't worry, it won't be anywhere near as toe-curlingly embarrassing as you're expecting it to be. You seem so unconvinced, but it'll be totally fine. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I just picked the most bland cereal. You know I got the Weetabix, put it in the bowl. Yeah, it's before afternoon, calling that my breakfast, but it break my spoon. It's so thick, it need to go down smooth as silk. So I just loosen it up, dissolve it in the milk, and then I wanna make it taste better than any other. So I just make it mainly sugar, and that is why I chop the stuff up. Strawberries, banana. People say that amount of Demerara might harm you, but I'm like, I hate that thing. Cereal from a factory in Kettering. When I see it in the bowl, most of it obscured like an iceberg in the ocean. I'm sure that if the captain of the Titanic had observed it, he would have tried to get a course and chart it. Desert that. But he went, here's a fact for you. I reverse an iceberg and it's blue. Sometimes you see them peak above like a mountain. I see an iceberg like a frozen fountain. 70% of that you can't see. I move on, yeah. Blue and green are the colors that I know, yeah. That's just starting. I can chart my way back to the Lamont clan tartan. Yeah, L-A-M-O-N-T. I got it on a mug that was bought for me by somebody giving smiles on the shopping Royal Mile. They were like, hey, Chris, come on and just while away the time. I was like, what's hard and I like? I wanna observe while I'm annoyed by bagpipes. Next thing, you know I got a big fear. I go to the doctor cause my hypochondria is so near inside. It's like hard for me. I contract all diseases in medical dictionaries. People say, Chris, is antibiotics. Have you tried it? Cause you ain't got necrotizing fasciitis. It's where the flesh is eaten from your bones though. It's not as humorous as you might think though. You see what I did there? It was a bone pun. Yeah, let's go barrel. Yeah, we marijuana. Last in marijuana like Fellaini. I try and keep it fresh, never go say me. You can go to the Modern Art Gallery, see some stuff by Magritte, baby Dolly. The Mae West sofa is so real. I love the lobster telephone, you know it's so real. But Magritte is the best, yo, it's no hassle. I love the picture of the guy with face like an apple. Yep. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers.
Chris Turner's show, Observational Tragedy, is on nightly at 9:45 right here in the Pleasance. Thanks for watching live at the Pleasance in association with Audible. We're back at the same time tomorrow for our final show with John Hastings, Joel Dommett and Tom Allen. Thanks so much for watching. Come and see my show at the Pleasance Courtyard at 6:20. Actually, you can't. It's completely sold out for the rest of the run. But hey, stand outside and we'll say hello to each other. I've been Susan Calman. Thanks and goodbye.
I've always been a worrier. As a child, I remember hearing a joke about a chicken and panicking. Did he make it across or what?